Saving Edward. It was summertime on the island of Sodor. All the engines were working hard, carrying goods and passengers. They cheerfully chuffed up and down the lines. All except Edward. Edward was worried. He wheezed as he puffed, and steam hissed out of his cylinders. One morning, the Fat Controller came to the sheds. He had an important job for Edward.
A special delivery of fruit and vegetables is coming to the docks today,
He told him.
I want you to take it to Knapford.
Yes, sir, said Edward. But he was worried about his wheeze. It felt worse today.
Thomas, you are to go to the docks and shunt Edward's trucks. After that, you can carry on with your usual jobs.
Yes, sir, said Thomas eagerly. Thomas and Edward puffed up to the water tower. Edward tried to stop wheezing, but he couldn't. What's the matter? Asked Thomas. You don't sound well. I can't seem to get up steam properly, said Edward. But I'll manage. Don't tell anyone, Thomas. Thomas wasn't sure about this. I don't want the Fat Controller to know, hissed Edward. Thomas could see Edward was worried, so he agreed. He hurried off to shunt Edward's trucks. Edward followed slowly to the docks. Edward was very worried. What if he was too weak to pull his train? He would be of no use to the railway. He wouldn't be useful at all. Edward shuddered at the thought. Must keep going, he wheezed fearfully. At the docks, Thomas had shunted Edward's trucks into place for him. Soon Edward was coupled up and ready to go. Go on, Edward, you can do it, called Thomas encouragingly. Edward puffed as hard as he could, but the train hardly moved at all. I'm sorry, Thomas, Edward wheezed miserably. I'm not a really useful engine anymore. The Fat Controller will have to send me for scrap. Thomas was very upset. He wanted to help Edward.